Well, hello there, and welcome to my garden. It's always a pleasure to have company. Today, we're going to talk about creating a beautiful garden that thrives even when the heavens refuse to open. Yes, we're talking about the wonderful world of water-wise gardening. There's a whole host of plants out there that positively relish a bit of dryness, and they're just as vibrant and full of life as their thirstier cousins. So, if you're looking to save time, money, and precious water, all while creating a garden that's bursting with character and charm, then stick around. Now, before we get our hands dirty, let's talk a little about what water-wise gardening actually means. In essence, it's all about working with nature, not against it. It's about choosing plants that are naturally adapted to drier climates and creating a garden that can withstand the odd dry spell without turning into a dust bowl. You'll also find that a water-wise garden requires far less maintenance than a traditional one. But perhaps the most rewarding aspect of all is the sheer beauty and resilience of these drought-tolerant plants. So whether you're an experienced gardener or just starting out, I do encourage you to give water-wise gardening a try. Right then, let's talk plants. Now when it comes to choosing the stars of your water-wise garden, it's all about selecting those varieties that naturally thrive in drier conditions. Think of plants that originate from Mediterranean climates, for example, where long, hot summers are the norm. One of my personal favorites and a staple in any drought-tolerant garden is lavender. It's a truly wonderful plant, not just for its beautiful purple blooms and intoxicating fragrance, but also for its incredibly hardy nature. Then, of course, there are succulents. From the architectural agave to the delicate echeveria, there's a whole world of succulents out there just waiting to be discovered. Now, as promised, let's delve a little deeper into the wonderful world of lavender. This aromatic herb is a true delight in any garden, and its tolerance for dry conditions makes it a perfect candidate for our water-wise plot. When it comes to planting lavender, good drainage is absolutely key. These plants really don't like to sit in waterlogged soil, so make sure you choose a spot that gets plenty of sunshine and has free draining soil. Once your lavender is happily in the ground, it's important to water it regularly but sparingly, especially during its first year. And finally, don't be afraid to give your lavender a good prune. Regular pruning not only keeps the plant looking its best but also encourages bushier growth and a more plentiful display of those gorgeous purple blooms. Now let's turn our attention to succulents, those masters of water conservation. These fascinating plants have a unique ability to store water in their fleshy leaves, stems, and roots, allowing them to thrive in arid conditions where other plants would simply wither. When it comes to planting succulents, drainage is once again paramount. These plants absolutely abhor soggy roots, so a free-draining soil is essential. In terms of watering, less is definitely more. A good rule of thumb is to water deeply, but only when the soil is completely dry to the touch. And finally, remember that succulents adore sunshine. Choose a bright, sunny spot for your succulents, and they'll reward you with their unique beauty and resilience. Finally, let's talk about ornamental grasses. These graceful plants add wonderful texture and movement to a garden, and many varieties are incredibly drought-tolerant once established. When planting ornamental grasses, it's important to choose a spot that suits their mature size. Some varieties can grow quite large, so make sure you give them plenty of space to spread out. Once established, ornamental grasses are incredibly low maintenance. They require very little watering, especially during the cooler months. And the best part? Many ornamental grasses offer stunning autumnal displays, with their foliage turning shades of gold, copper, and russet. Well, there we have it. A little glimpse into the wonderful world of water-wise gardening. Remember, choosing drought-tolerant plants is just the first step. Don't forget to pay attention to your soil, water wisely, and don't be afraid to experiment with different plant combinations to create a garden that brings you joy. Happy gardening, everyone!